Hello and welcome to Bodied, a Cloud9 fan cast. I'm your host Havocpuss, joined by Frozen Creek, and Frozen, we got a not totally sad episode this week, shockingly.
I think us not throwing a game of League of Legends is a cause for celebration, considering we gave ourselves an extra chance this week. But
Exactly.
I will say, because of the outcomes of this weekend, I am guaranteed to see Cloud9 play in Detroit in 2 or 3 weeks now. So I'm really excited about that because I've been waiting for this moment
Your whole life.
4 years. I guess, yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
I started watching about this time 4 years ago.
That's awesome. You'll have to definitely do some boots on the ground live coverage of the events.
Yeah, I will do my best to provide what I can. If anybody's going, feel free to hit me up. I'll be around both days.
We can have a meetup of just you.
Yeah, and if you're over 21, we can get a drink together.
Oh, for sure. And if you're under 18, just say you're over 21, and if you get caught, just plead ignorance, and it'll be fun.
That's true. Michigan, laws are much different than every other law, so you can just plead ignorance in that case.
Yeah, for sure. You can also, don't you have like legal weed? Can't you get weed?
You can't buy it yet in like shops, but you can have it. Like if I were to have an eighth of weed in my pocket, I would be cool.
Okay.
I don't think you can smoke it in public. Like I couldn't just like smoke it like a cigarette while walking down Woodward Ave or something.
But I want to blow smoke in cops' faces, and they just have to sit there and groove on it.
The University of Michigan has this thing called Hash Bash every year, and you might be able to pull it off there, but that's it.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a very long time, I think, and I guess like they decriminalized it on campus, so it was like a $5 fine or something if you got caught smoking.
Oh, I would totally.
Weed. So like everyone would just line up in like a line and have $5, and like a cop would just walk by and take $5.
Just collect the money. That's how drug regulation should work. You just pay. A cop goes around, you give him $5, and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's how it goes. I've never gone, but from all of my friends who went to Michigan, that's what they said. It's like a pretty big deal. Like people drive from other colleges around the state to go down and party that weekend.
Oh damn, that sounds awesome. But enough about spouting political philosophy. We got to talk about some Cloud9 thing.
I'm not short of either opinion, so
exactly. The first, I guess, the only bit of news really is that Cloud9 is seemingly started to just dismantle their battle royale branch. Yesterday, it was announced that both the Apex Legends and the PUBG team have both left Cloud9 and pursued free agency. We have no idea if they plan on ever picking up a new squad or if they're just done. I think they still have like a Fortnite team or like a couple Fortnite squads, but outside of that, that's kind of it. So it's really interesting that C9 is going in this direction. It does kind of make sense considering that the genre is very oversaturated, as well as with the Fortnite World Cup thingy that just happened, you know, those types of numbers are hard to compete with. And, you know, I think also Apex Legends had sort of the unfortunate scheduling to schedule like their X Games Apex Showdown thingy like around the same time. So it's like a thing like, well, do I want to watch the Fortnite World Cup or the X Games thing? And I think most people just went to the Fortnite one. So it's kind of unfortunate, especially since PUBG has brought C9 a lot of accolades in the past. Their performance lately hasn't been good, but it does suck to see them go.
Yeah, whoever made that decision probably got strongly reprimanded.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like that like the Fortnite thing is happening, and that's like your direct competitor. I'm not sure why you would schedule it like around the same time. Like you'd think like I guess you can't control when the X Games happens, but at the same time it's just like oh geez, we made an oops. We got to compete with Fortnite and Ninja now. This is all on the heck. This is gonna be tough.
Yeah, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah. I guess it does kind of suck because it leaves us without some teams to follow. But I guess it really isn't all that surprising, in my opinion. Like, they're big games and they're followed on Twitch and stuff, but the competitive scene just didn't seem to be there. Like the Fortnite thing, there were how many competitive?
I think there were hundreds. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So like at that point, like Cloud9's here, but like nobody cares because some 16-year-old won it. Like not with a team or anything, I believe. So not very good opportunities to market your team there, and so
yeah, I think
surprising.
I think the issue is just that how PUBG and other battle royale in general, it's very difficult to really make a competitive scene out of because it's sort of a every man from themselves thing, and there's so many people that it makes it hard to, like if I want to follow Cloud9, right? It makes, and especially if it's just like the event stream, it makes it very difficult for me to follow them and figure out like, well, how are our players doing? I don't know, and it's so hectic in trying to follow like what's going on, and there's so many things happening that you're bound to miss something, and I think just the nature of those games, it makes it very difficult to be like, okay, we're going to make this an esport, and making a solid competitive scene is difficult, especially with like one game after another coming out, and that game like eclipsing the other game was also a big problem. It was H1Z1's a big thing, but then PUBG comes out, and PUBG is like a way better version, and then PUBG was cool for a bit, but then like Fortnite is now the big thing, and Fortnite completely demolishes PUBG, and then Apex Legends gets popular and overtakes Fortnite for a little bit, and so it's just like there's so many different games constantly coming out and are constantly trying to like vie for popularity that it's just too volatile, and it just makes it difficult to really make a watchable esports event, I feel.
Yeah, and that might change once one kind of starts to die out, but it seems like all three of them are thriving like in their own ecosystems at the same time. Like League of Legends was, I'm sure that there are going to be people who did disagree, but it's like the premier MOBA to watch, and I know someone's going to say Dota too, but like they don't get the numbers that League of Legends does outside of their major tournament once a year, so it's different. And
yeah,
and a League of Legends players get like salaries and guaranteed money through like riding stuff for the league and stuff like that. So there's like an infrastructure there that isn't there for even probably games like Rocket League.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see like Fortnite becoming like maybe the sole, like not the sole one, but the one that like everyone kind of pursues just because of how large the following is and how many people are constantly playing it. But we'll have to see. Hopefully, we can maybe get some more news on this or see what C9 does next. If this leads to C9 making way for like a Dota 2 team, that would be really cool. Just to see them come into the space again. I'm still holding out for my idea of them doing what they did similarly with Kongdu Panthera, and then just sort of merging brands with another existing team and kind of sharing.
They've essentially done that a couple times for Dota teams, I feel like.
Yeah, they could do it with Team Liquid. They could be like
for the major a couple times, but
yeah, they could be like Liquid Cloud.
Yeah,
and then They wouldn't have to. They wouldn't have to worry about assembling a team. It's just like, well, you have a team. We can we can provide supplies and stuff and marketing while you just provide the talent and the coaching.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be sweet to have one compete more. Like, I don't know what the Dota 2 competitive scene is like, so I don't know how many competitions there are, but like it would be sweet to have a Cloud9 team in Dota
For
like
sure.
consistently.
I just want to cut of that international money, you know?
Oh yeah, of course.
Everyone does, really.
Yeah, it is big. I think
Yeah.
that they're like the biggest prize pool in all of esports. I think
It's definitely up there. It usually gets a lot.
yeah. So it would be nice to be involved in that, but that's for a different time if that ever happens, I guess.
Yeah. I guess moving on, we have a World of Warcraft update. The team played in the final cup of the Summer Cup series. They actually have been kind of struggling lately. They lost in the losers round 4 to the Move, 1-3. The team has been kind of struggling. It looks like the meta has kind of shifted, so now they're not playing Druid, Warlock, Frostmage anymore. Now they're trying to do like Druid, Rogue, Frostmage. Last week they tried like Warlock, Firemage and stuff. And the meta's definitely kind of shifted more towards. I think maybe some different healers it'd be great if I think we moved away from Druid, because I think that's maybe part of the problem. Like there's a lot more comps now, Frozen, where basically you just stall out until dampening gets really big, and then you just like burst someone down because you'll have so much damage that'll be, and so your healer is so like weak on mana that it's impossible to keep them alive, and basically you just win by just stalling and having like a really bursty team comp.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with what you said.
Okay, great.
I still haven't watched it outside of the time I turned it on against the boys, and we immediately lost. So I'll agree with you.
That makes
Sorry.
everything easier.
So I'll assume that your analysis is correct.
Well, great. I guess moving on, we can talk about Overwatch League. They had an kind of week, I gotta say, Frozen.
Yeah. The match against the Mayhem was some would say not ideal.
It's pretty yikes. We are in a new meta, so I can understand some teams that looked weak can become stronger because they actually have DPS players playing DPS. They like Spitfire looked great against Toronto, and I think that was the team that they were pretty much all preparing for. But then they played against Florida Mayhem, and by God, they look like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off that game.
Yeah, I didn't get to see too much of it, but what I saw, like, it was going okay, and then they were just like, nah, not okay anymore, and then they just kind of give up.
I think that's the issue with some of our players. Like Birdring, for instance, is fairly streaky, and he's fairly hot and cold when it comes to performance. Also, I feel that way kind of with Quartermain. I don't know why we're not starting Nuss. I think that Nuss is a much more focused healer. Like Quartermain's very passive on how he plays, whereas I think Nuss is a bit more involved. But it's just really weird. I don't like when we're playing these inconsistent players and then they just don't hit. I think that that's an issue that really does cause us to drop maps, or in this case matches. Who knows exactly what was going on that game or with the players. Maybe it's just a fluke. I want to chalk it up as just a fluke, but we'll have to see. They're playing. They have a busy week, and this week they're playing against not Toronto, Vancouver. They're playing against Vancouver and the Houston Outlaws.
Vancouver on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's an unideal starting time on the West Coast. Yeah, then Houston. But the good news is that we are back into the playoffs for the season, so that's good news.
Yeah, I think we locked in playoffs, I think.
I doubt it. How many matches are left? I highly doubt it, because
no. We are. I think we are at least locked in, maybe for the play-ins
for the division, maybe, because we're second place in our division. I'm not 100% sure how.
I'm not sure how the play-ins work.
Okay.
They have made things confusing, but I think that we have at least locked in a spot for doing play-ins.
Okay, well,
I think, don't quote me on this, people, but I think we've at least locked ourselves into play-ins. If we go 2-0 this week, I think we definitely have a pretty good shot at just locking in playoffs. But it's going to be tough. Vancouver's a really good team, and Houston is...
Yeah, Vancouver's legit.
Houston's been kind of our kryptonite. Houston hasn't been playing well lately, and they've been having some issues with their roster performing, but it's still a thing of... Houston last season, I remember so many times we just let Houston just fuck with us because, like, we want to play dive, and they were really good at playing anti-dive, and it was just like, you guys keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you keep losing, and it's very frustrating.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that they can flip it on the head this time, but Florida's in last place, and Houston is better than that, so.
Maybe we'll play better this week.
which it isn't saying much. The Vancouver one is going to be tough, and that would be the one to watch. But I will be playing D&D, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully that's fun.
I hope it is.
You hope.
I mean, it was fun. The first time I played with my half elf bard, so. I know I was going to do regular updates.
Then we kind of forgot about it.
We had last week off, and the week before I was busy. So
exactly.
I've only played once. So tomorrow will be my second day playing, and I will try and update you guys next week.
All right, awesome. Well, with that said, we can probably move on to League of Legends, where C9 turned it all the way on and crushed the competition. And it was pretty sweet. Yeah,
that was probably the happiest I've been after a regular split weekend in a while, just based off the quality we saw from everyone. Definitely played well. Blabber played well. Sneaky played insane. Zazel flipped a switch.
Niski had a limited amount of mistakes, which was good.
Didn't do much differently. He kept playing as well as he's been playing, and Licorice looked just fine also.
Yeah, when I was watching, especially like watching the Optic game, I was kind of like thinking, where has this C9 been like all season? and then especially during the CLG game when they were playing like actual like macro focused, like cerebral League of Legends, and not just, oh, we'll just fight and kill them. They understood like, okay, we can't team fight fully with the Caitlyn until she comes online, but we can just pressure them and sort of chokehold them out of the map. And they were playing it so smart and so cleanly, and I was just like, how can you not do this every game? Why didn't you do this every week?
Yeah, I think if we played our best comps every week, that we probably could have gotten first place for the split. And this is what kind of sucks about the best of ones, where you only get 18 games a split, which isn't really enough to practice new things really, because every game is like ultra important. When like in best of threes, you would have a minimum of 36 games, and then you can win game one, go to game two and play that ADTF or the Tristana top or Gnar jungle or some shit and see how it feels on a pro stage. But I think it was on the nines last night. It was either last night being Tuesday. This is being recorded on Wednesday night. Zazel and Svenskeren were talking about how they were testing comps in competitive games, and Reaper was like, oh yeah, there's a no chance they'll pick this, so we can practice this comp, and then every time the other team pick that counter.
He also said that they were like regularly practice Zazel's Rakan, which is extremely to Zazel's strength. Zazel, watching him play Rakan and Alistar, it's like, oh, that's right, Zazel's really, really, really good at these hard against champions where he can get the team to just focus on him and whoever he's targeting instead of having to play something like Lux that it's a lot more difficult to kind of play around. But he kept like playing Rakan. He said it always went well in scrims, but Reaper just kept going. Sorry, not this week, either because it was banned out or whatever. And that's kind of just like, come on, man.
But yeah, and he looked good on it. So it kind of makes me curious to maybe what will happen in the future. Like maybe there's a couple picks they have from scrims that they're just not allowed to play, that they're saving for their semifinal match against TSM, CLG, Optic, or Clutch. I believe are the 4 teams.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I guess the highlight of the weekend was completely dismantling CLG in our tiebreaker game.
That game was so good. Like, Sneaky played extremely well on the Caitlyn, and it felt like such a breath of fresh air to like actually play around bot lane and like win bot lane.
Yeah, and like the big thing that really just won us the game outright, it was a super early tower dive, like what, maybe 5 minutes in, when
I think so, yeah.
Niski and Sven came down, and then they dove the Stixay, and then he lost out on a giant wave, and then from there it was just GG, because Sneaky got so far ahead. They took down every plate except 2 in the mid lane also, which was something they failed to do in the match earlier that day. So that was nice to see. Also,
it was just a beautiful game. It was exactly how I needed C9 to play in such a crucial game, as well as just how C9 should be playing for the most part. It gave me a lot of confidence that maybe C9 is a lot more playoff ready than maybe I thought they were. If they're, this is CLG, right? Like, CLG has been crushing it for the last half of the split, and they were actually playing fairly well. So to completely dismantle CLG in a game like that, maybe they're better. I don't want to give too much hope and optimism to it, just because C9 in the playoffs is not as good. They'll go in and then they'll just be like, you have it, you can get to the finals, and then they'll just mess up, and it's I don't want to get hope.
No, yeah. We've generally been a good playoff team, but
we're better in summer than in spring, to be fair.
Yeah.
We are a summer team and not a spring team.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that we might see that comp once or twice more, maybe once, honestly. Because I think that Reaper is going to keep that one in the bag for something else. But I think what was so good about it was nobody probably expected that to come out, and it worked like a charm. So I'm glad it did. But talking about playoffs kind of leads us to how do we look for going to Worlds? So I am fairly certain we're almost guaranteed a gauntlet spot at this point. We have the third most points, championship points, and it's going to be tough for anybody to pass us. I have to imagine it would include CLG winning and Clutch or Optic running the table. I'm not sure, but Riot came out yesterday, meaning Tuesday of this week, and saying how the championship points would be added up for who gets the second guaranteed spot to Worlds. And originally, it would have given TSM all of the benefits of the doubt, in the sense that if TSM were to finish third this split and Cloud9 were to finish second, TSM would have more championship points based off the fact that Cloud9 didn't technically get third last split because they didn't play a third place game. So they kind of got like third and a half place, tied with Clutch. Is that who it was? No,
I think so.
It was FlyQuest.
Yeah, because we lost against FlyQuest, and I was super sad.
Yeah, but there was this weird situation where I haven't fact checked this on myself, but it was highly voted on Reddit, where apparently TSM Cloud9 could have trolled their semifinal game to try and play TSM in the third place game, so Cloud9 could get the third place and give TSM fourth place, and then they would have gotten the second world spot, assuming Team Liquid won playoffs again. So Riot quickly came out and fixed that within like 12 hours, and now if Cloud9 gets second place and TSM gets third, then we will be going to Worlds over TSM, and they will have to go through the gauntlet. So
yeah, I'm glad that they rectified the situation and we're like, no, wait, that's not how it is. Just pretend the pitchforks. I know Emma's head was about to explode when she saw that. And
yeah,
she was just like, this completely fucks us over for trying to get to Worlds, and this is, why would they do this halfway through the split? And this, this is just very upsetting to me. But likely, it's great to see that this isn't the case, and that C9 still has an opportunity to qualify outright and not have to go through the gauntlet, which I really want. I don't want us to go through the gauntlet again because it's super stressful. And
yeah, it's fun but stressful.
I mean, it is our place of power, right? Like, it is, the gauntlet is ours.
Yeah,
we have won it outright so many times, but still, like, statistically, you have to lose it eventually.
Yeah, I'm in your boat. Some point, yeah, and like, it is nice to see more Cloud9 matches in a best of 5, but I would prefer to have less stress involved in that, and to just get through the easy way. So
yeah, for sure, easy
a second place finish or a first place finish would guarantee that.
Yeah,
it would. Oh, I guess technically not if CLG won. So there are scenarios where if CLG wins, then we would not get a guaranteed spot at Worlds. Or if Clutch or Optic won, then we would not get a guaranteed spot at Worlds because Team Liquid would get the guaranteed second spot.
Yeah.
But I think if I was a betting man, I would bet on Clutch, CLG, or Optic not winning playoffs. And I don't think I could get good odds on that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to put all my energy towards TSM losing and Cloud9 winning. So we'll see which energy is stronger.
Yeah, that's all it takes. All that matters to me is seeing them in Detroit, but hopefully it's on Sunday.
Yes. I'll warm up my pentagram right now. I'll get on it.
All right, I'm gonna warm up my pseudo Zazel beard. Yeah, that I assembled with all my shaved off beard hair.
Well, I can't think of anything else
as you think.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to talk about Frozen.
No, me neither. I think we pretty much covered everything. Oh,
yeah, for sure.
What? Oh, let's go through playoff scenarios really quick. Predict your winners for this weekend.
Okay, this weekend.
Wait. Yeah, this weekend. So it's
Okay.
TSM versus Clutch Gaming, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. Then CLG versus Optics Sunday at 3 p.m. Who wins those?
As poorly as TSM has been playing, I see no world where Clutch beats TSM in a best of 5 series. There is just no chance. I have to say that TSM wins it. As for the match Sunday, that's going to be the more interesting one. I think that it could go either way. I can definitely see CLG winning because they have been a very strong team in the last half of this split. But Optic has, they have such a good roster, and it baffles me that they're losing and struggling as much as they are. That you have Crown and Meteos, and and Dokla isn't even bad. Dokla plays fine. They have all these components that, it baffles me. But I think that I could see either of them. I would really like to see Optic win, just to see Meteos maybe play more in the playoffs, because he definitely deserves it for how hard he works. But what about you?
I think I want Optic to win. Though it's going to be odd after Team Liquid picks whoever they want to pick.
They'll probably pick not TSM because they. Well, that being said, TSM has looked pretty weak, and if they do win, TL may just be like, TSM will be easy pickings for us. Why risk playing against Optic or something, and just pick TSM? It could happen. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I hope Team Liquid picks TSM because I think that would be a better chance of sending TSM to the third place game, and that's what we need. So
it'll all depend on how the matches shake out.
But I think Clutch is looking pretty good right now. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, they've only lost against TSM once, Team Liquid and CLG, and besides that, they've won everything else. So they're in pretty good form right now. TSM is not in good form, but this is playoff TSM. So I think if I were betting, I put it on TSM. And I probably CLG, but I do want Optic to win, and Optic is very experienced too, between Meteos and Crown. So they do have that benefit. Those Stixay has gone to the finals of MSI, which was a while ago, but that still counts. So I have to imagine that Team Liquid will try and avoid CLG, but we'll have to see how the games play out first. If TSM looks super good, they might pass on them. But it is an interesting scenario because I feel like it's never really been this complicated for picking the opponents in semifinals.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how this weekend's games shake out. It should be interesting, though. I'm definitely excited to watch.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, now that's it. So take us away or out. Take us out, not away.
I'll take us both away and out. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Bodied, a Cloud9 Fancast. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at C9Bodied, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah, and if you prefer to send emails, send us an email at bodiedfancast@gmail.com. I look at it periodically enough to see an email that comes up. But yeah,
well, make sure to hit us up.
Not that anybody sends emails in anymore, but
exactly. It's all you gotta tweet it. You gotta reach that millennial generation.
Yeah. Well, I'm old compared to them, or I am a millennial, so I guess I use both, but more power to you guys. So we will talk next week about our playoffs once we know who we play.
All right. Well, until then, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.